hello. It's Friday, baby. How are you guys doing? I am your host, Lady T, and I have with me host Star on the Go and Mr. Know It All. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, Lady T, this is Star on the Go. I've been on the go. I've been around and about looking for new adventures, as I always do. This week has been very interesting and very busy. But you know what? I'm here with you guys today on this Friday, and we are just relaxing and we are going to just talk about our current events and what's going on today. Mr. Know It All, how you doing?
Oh, I am doing excellent. Boy, it's been a real exciting week. A lot of interesting stuff to get into. We've seen some historic stuff going on. So, man, the world is changing. Let's do it, baby.
I'm excited. But really, I'm really excited about what happened down in Georgia this week with the congratulations that I have to extend to Mr. Raphael Warnock. He was elected to the US Senate, and it was a tight runoff in Georgia with the opponent Herschel Walker. But I'm so thankful that he won. I just could not believe it was like biting nails when I was looking at the numbers. How did you guys feel about that?
Oh, excited, totally excited. I had no doubt that he was going to take it this far. Had no doubt.
It got a little scary though, because me personally, I didn't think the numbers should have been that close at all. I thought it was like a run, should have been a slew in for Raphael Warnock. It should have been no contest, especially after all of the noise that was being made throughout the last few weeks. It was torture with Herschel Walker, because the things that he would say, it just was not something that a candidate would have been elected for. So how do you feel, Mr. Know-It-All?
It was really scary watching, first of all, I don't even know why we have to have a runoff, but it was what it was, or it is what it is. And to see, I'm really saddened because to see that the werewolf actually, lost, this guy was really kind of out there. When I say this guy, I'm talking about Herschel Walker, with some of the comments that he said. It was really unbelievable that this was going on. But it was a really tight race. Warnock gets to represent Georgia now in a full term, because in the last election, he only got to be senator in Georgia for 2 years. And then his term came back up again for this term. And now he's elected for 6 years. So now if this happens the other way, you've been looking at Herschel Walker with all the craziness.
For 6 years.
For 6 years. That would have been incredible. So, hey, hats off to Georgia. They came through second time.
Thank
with
God.
the runoff.
Yay.
Really
That's
what's going on. And I saw some interesting tidbits on the news station, news outlets, that just said that, Georgia is or Atlanta particularly, is really a big indication of where the country is going, because it's really
Fulton County.
rejecting the whole MAGA movement that was started by Trump, and really embracing a more progressive outlook on the politics of the country and where the country really is moving to. So even though it was kind of nail biting, it did work out in the end, because we have a better statement that can be made by the Senate, and gives Joe Biden as a president a better chance for his second half of his presidency to pass some real effective legislation. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited because that was seat number 51 now in the Senate, and we needed that, so that those decisions can be made by Joe Biden. He can have a little bit more flexibility. I know that everyone was going, oh, they didn't care who they put in that Republican seat, as far as I'm aware. They just really wanted that Republican title. So Herschel Walker, I'm glad that he did not win. And it's just, I don't think I'm the only one. I really think that his skills with reference to the politics of everything. I don't think he even knew what he was running for.
No, no, not at all.
It sounds really crazy, but that's what we had. That's what was going on. Raphael Warnock, he is the Baptist pastor, and it was really great to see that he won. And like Mr. Know-It-All said, 6-year term, that's excellent. And I didn't realize that he only had the 2 years prior to that. Right? Is that what you were saying, Mr.
That's
Know-It-All?
correct.
Because
2 years. That was for the first runoff. So this one was really, this was for the real deal, you know.
wow. So that's important. And thank you, Georgia. Thank you. Because you guys really pulled it in for us, for the country, really. It was
Yes.
really an important win that we needed. Because we have to be progressive. We have to move past the MAGA movement. Because I'm sure we all want the same things, but we have to actually all be together in it. So I'm thankful that Georgia did what they did and they pulled it through, even though it was tight. And that was the nail biting part of it. Because as we're
So there
watching,
was
I'm going, oh
vampires,
my goodness.
The
there was
vampire.
vampires and werewolves.
Uh,
That probably is what
uh,
did him in. When you started discussing that, that is probably what did him in. So
I don't go.
besides
What are
all
you
the
hearing
other
on the
stuff.
streets? What are you hearing on the streets with that?
I'm sorry, starting to go. What did I
Yeah,
hear on the
what are you
street?
hearing on the streets about this?
Well, I'm not gonna pretend. I haven't been on the streets in a day or two. Because I've been under, I've been under the weather, so
Oh,
yeah, I haven't been feeling too well, so I haven't been on the streets for this big announcement. But I was able to listen to Warnock's speech, and victory speech, and I'm just ecstatic, and I'm so happy for him. I heard that Fox and the GOP is going to turn on Trump. I guess because Walker's lost in Georgia. I have no clue.
mm. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not familiar with that. So, I mean, it's all politics, but in this case, it was good politics because we got our person elected
that
that we needed.
exactly. That's the main thing.
So,
You know, like
because it,
there's always good news when you have victory and
right,
victory for the right thing. You know, not no
absolutely.
crackerjack box or candidate. So
Yeah,
it is what it is. So I wonder how he feels right now, Walker. I'm sure a lot of people don't care, but how does him and Mr. Trump, feel about this, and what's their next game plan? You know,
Well,
well,
it's interesting. They say that every
yeah,
there's 25 candidates that were endorsed by Trump this past election season, and every single one of them were defeated. So that shows the people. You know, Warnock said an interesting thing in his acceptance speech. He said the people have spoken. He says he was honored to say such words because it means because he was the subject of that of what the people wanted. It shows that I think that the public has became just like distasteful in regards to the whole MAGA movement and to Trumpyism, things of that nature. People in this country have rejected that as the way for the country to move forward. And I'm speaking for
right,
myself, and then obviously the people that have went out and voted, they just want something different. No one's expecting
right,
anybody to be perfect, but what we don't expect is for people to be foolish and think that it's foolhardy, and because I once was a great football player, or I once was on TV as the apprentice or the host of the apprentice, that I actually can run the country, that I actually have some kind of something in me that cares for every individual in this country, and I want to make policy that doesn't benefit just my few friends, but everyone in the country, to make it fair and honest. And people are looking for that. They know that it's not going to be miracles, but they also know that it should not be so one-sided and so mean-spirited and so really just focused on how I can make myself the greatest thing. The idea to be a politician is that you're serving your subjects, and I think they want to move the needle back to that. to where the politicians is in service of the individual that lives in the country. So this is it's a step in the right direction. It's not everything, but it's just a step. And what more can we ask for?
And
Amen.
what's interesting about what you said also is that people, I think, when they put these candidates in the office or in the running, they are trying to get celebrities in there. I can only think of Dr. Oz, and he was running in the state of Pennsylvania. And the story that I heard was a woman that said that she was in the state of New York, and an elderly person came to her and wanted to vote, but she was looking for Dr. Oz on her ballot in New York, but Dr. Oz was running in Pennsylvania. So there's something to it. The people do, if you see him on the TV every day, that's who they think they're going to get to vote. And since Trump got into office initially, he used celebrityism to be there. And then I guess they thought because Herschel Walker was in football and Heisman Trophy, that was going to capture all of the fans that he may have had, may or may not have had. And that's what we're seeing. And so people don't want that. Like you said, Mr. Know-it-all, we want the real people that are going to take care of our communities and our what we need to succeed. And it's not going to be a celebrity who hasn't studied or practiced in politics. So that's my thought on it, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Dr. Oz didn't win. And I'm glad that Herschel Walker didn't win. And then there was the thought of they don't even live in the states that they're running for office in. And that was with Dr. Oz as well as with Herschel Walker. They said that his home state was Texas. So how come he is running for a senator position in Georgia? It's not supposed to be, but they break rules. Rules are always broken, and as a disclaimer, we're not experts on this. So this is what we're saying is for entertainment purposes only. These are just our opinions, and we're not certifying that anything we say is fact. So just so that you hear that from us out there, that's what's going on. So, Star, how do you feel about that?
The statement that what we're saying is just our opinions and not fact.
No, not that. I'm sorry.
No, I know. I honestly, I'm really not into politics. And the thing about politics, and I just love listening to you two, speak upon it, because I just find everything with the politics to be crooked and rigged. And that's just my opinion. So I try to stay out of it. You got fake doctors running, and you got people who never graduate from high school or college, but do a ball, do a hoop. And, they're running. So that's my take on it. And honestly, I really don't give a coots.
I appreciate that. Because it could be draining if you think about it, because I'm not like a real political person as well myself, but when stuff like that happens, when you see a runoff and you see a candidate that is definitely not qualified, then you have to open your eyes and go, wait a minute, what is going on? I'm not a political person, and I follow as much as I can, but I know Mr. Know-it-all will know more than I in this subject. But when you see something that's so outlandish, you cannot help yourself but to go, this has got to stop. What are we really doing?
I watched it. I watched it in the beginning. Hey, I was there from the beginning, but it was devastating. I was just shaking my head in disbelief. Like, I can't believe that this, I don't want to call him a name, but I just couldn't believe that he was running. I was, like you said it perfectly, Lady T. You don't think he knew what he was running for.
I'm not the only one.
He don't even know what he signed up for. He has no clue.
I know. I am not the only one.
So it's interesting, and that's just my take on it. I'm very happy for Warnock, and his victory, and
Amen.
Changes be made. Let's make some changes.
Yes. So I know that there was a lot of things that happened this week. And one of the major things, and I know you guys have information and can discuss on it as well, is that Brittney Griner was finally
Yes.
released
Yes.
Thursday.
Finally.
Amen to
Oh
that.
my goodness. Amen.
Finally.
Good for her.
And yeah, they did as everyone knows, they did a prisoner swap with what's his name? Victor Boot,
Boot.
who
Yeah.
was right, and he was supposed to be in sentence for 25 years in prison in Russia. So he was let out and swapped with Brittney Griner, and they called him the Merchant of Death. So
Right.
Yeah.
it seemed like a crazy swap, but no matter what, I'm thankful that she was released. She's been in there since February, and now it is December. So that's a long time to be in there for having hash oil. I think that's what it was
Yes,
that
it was
they.
hash oils. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's so crazy because even the swap off with Boot, because he was like convicted, I believe, like in what 2011, like here, because he had a conspiracy.
2008.
Was it 2008? Okay, correct me, Mr. Know-it-all. See, I knew Mr. Know-it-all would know that. Wouldn't he? But I know there was, because he had a conspiracy like to kill U.S. citizens and officials. So it's
Wow.
kind of
Oh, his
interesting
thing's a little bit
knowing.
different. Just to clear it up. So his thing is that he was an arms dealer, and he would
Right.
deal arms to terrorists. And so the
Okay.
U.S. viewed it as he waged war against all Americans, right? By
Right.
Wow.
buying terrorists, like people 9/11 with arms, terrorists from Afghanistan with arms. So they saw him as an enemy of the state, against American
Right. Because
society.
he was supplying them, right?
He would sell them the arms. Yep. And they set
Right.
up a
Exactly.
sting to catch him. So, but go ahead.
Wow.
You were saying.
Yeah, but I think his main concern was to eliminate a certain race or certain community or country, correct?
No, his main thing was just to supply. Well, as an arms dealer, and there's like so many great movies about this. Actually, they made a movie directly about him that what's his name, Nicolas Cage was in. I'll try to get the movie. So they based it on his life. But if you watch other
Right.
movies as well, if you watch, there's a great movie called I forgot the name of it. I should have this for you, but they really show how arms dealers make their money by selling to whoever wants to buy these arms. There's so many. You
Wow.
wouldn't believe how many. They talk about guns in the street, right? You wouldn't believe how many nuclear arsenals are floating around. When the Soviet Union collapsed in the '80s, a lot of this stuff was just dismantled from the arms, from the army of the Soviet Union at that time, and a lot of these people became capitalists or what they call the black market, selling arms and things to people who wanted to have warheads so they could blow up a building, or they could shoot down airplanes, specifically like with the Afghanistan Taliban. People, for wars to exist, you need to have the arms, right? So he was
Wow.
a major person that went out of his way to make sure that he became rich by being the middleman to sell you those arms. And the U.S. looked at it in a politically motivated way, that at the end of these terrorist attacks, Americans would die. And so in a way, he was waging a war against Americans. And that's how the United States, in a sting operation, caught him back in 2008. They infiltrated a Colombian rebel group called FARC, and what they were doing is basically acting like they wanted to buy these guns. And Victor Bout was like, "Yo, yes, I have this many X amount of arms, and for this amount of price." And it was just like if you're watching these movies, a sting operation. Very interesting on how they set it up. And then they got him. They basically took him out of that business and really set him up to be in jail for life. 25
Well,
25
but
years.
yeah,
25
that's a
years
long
is a
time.
lot.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I knew you was going to answer that question correctly, because I was kind of tricking you up, Mr. Know-It-All, and you know
Uh-huh.
what? You had the answer. But I
Uh-huh.
do not want to take the spotlight from Brittney right now because we gave a lot of accolades, or shall I say, credit to Mr. Boot. But Brittney, welcome back to the USA states and on our ground. And Brittney, as everybody knows, is an iconic figure with the WNBA,
Yep.
and hopefully she gets back and up and playing again. And I know that everybody from the team, the LGBTQ community, were all excited, and so there's a lot of things going to be happening. And let's see that when she gets back home, that she just tries to cope and get back into a regular routine, and just be surrounded by the love that everybody is going to give her.
Yeah, because we all were rooting for her and praying for her. And I'm thankful that she was finally released. And thank you to President Joe Biden on that as well,
Yes,
because
he did.
I know that his input and whatever, I know Mr. Know-It-All can tell us exactly what his role was, but he's the president and he made it happen as well. So I'm thankful that she was able to be released, and it wasn't much longer. I mean, I don't think it was a fair trade because someone who had 25 years
Mm,
to go. But you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. The
Yeah.
end game is that she is home with her family, and like you said, starting to go. Hopefully, she can get right back into her routine. And I wonder if she would ever visit that country again, if she would ever go international even to play basketball.
well,
I'm
somebody
curious.
asked her that question while she was on the plane, and she said yes, she would
Oh,
come
good
back
for
to
her.
visit.
Right.
She said she would. Not only that, Wellen is one of the prisoners who are still there in Russia, and his family is happy to hear that Brittney is back home. But Wellen himself is not too pleased with that. He was like, "What about me? What about me?" So he would thought that that would probably be a better trade-off, would be him and Boot
Mhm.
instead of Brittney. So that
Well, like,
yeah,
okay. Well, like you
Mr.
said,
Well,
let's
for,
Know-It-All.
put a little focus on Brittany, which is really interesting. The biggest thing about Brittany, and I think what resonated with the public, is a couple of things. Number one, you know, the WNBA has been very popular here in the U.S., and she's part of the Phoenix Mercury, right? She's one of their star players, and one of the biggest things, the reason why she went to Russia, is because it's such a wide disparity in the salary of an NBA player versus a
Oh yeah,
WNBA player. So the
most
wow.
NBA,
definitely.
it's common, like the bench warmer. You just got there and you're the bench warmer. You make something like $700,000 or $800,000 a year, and you're never even going to start. Average
Right.
WNBA player, the top salary, like for a superstar, like she was or is, right? I think it's 275
Mhm.
to $300,000. So it's a wide disparity in the pay. So she went to foreign
Wow.
to play in Russia because she got, I believe it's $2 million to play for Russia. So it was a really great opportunity for her and the family, and also for her to get her worth, what she felt was adequate. So it's really sad. So people just felt, number one, they pulled her and they incarcerated her on a just an unfair charge.
Yeah.
That was really
She
sad.
never should have been, yeah, she never should have been incarcerated. That's my thought on it. That's my take.
Yeah. So
So that
what's really interesting is that she's home now, and I'm excited about that because it showed again the president was really there to try to figure out a way of getting out. The Russians really wanted this Victor guy, and so they got him, and that's where that's at. So it's a good thing to end on. It's very happy. It's a very good time for her family. She's in time for the holidays. I know she's excited about that.
right,
No,
right.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just in time.
just
Mm.
in time. What else
Yeah.
we got on
So
the table? You know?
well, Right now, what we do is, we have a music segment. We pick a song for the day. So I am picking a song, and we all are picking a song. If this one's going to be entitled "Reach and Lift Somebody Up," and this is,
Oh,
yeah, it's called "Reach and Lift Somebody Up," and
Nice.
it is by written by Willis Wilson and Tracy Toda, and it is on the Ruby Boo Records and Entertainment label. And we want
love
you
that
to
name.
enjoy it
Love those guys.
because as always, I have a great time talking with you guys, and I am thankful that you guys joined me today and joined we all together. How you doing, Star on the Go? How did you enjoy yourself today?
Oh, wonderful time just speaking to you and Mr. Know It All. And I just love Mr. Know It All knowledge. And
Yes.
just to sit back and listen to him. Sometimes I might be a little too quiet, but I'm writing down notes, writing down notes.
No, you're
But
doing great.
overall, awesome time with you guys as always. Look forward to the next show. And I have no clue what we will be talking about, but
Well, we're going to be asking for suggestions. And again, as I always say, email us at info@itsfridaybaybay.com, Baybay. And Mr. Know-It-All, how was your discussion today with us?
Always excited. Star on the Go, Lady T. You guys always get me going. Well, I'm excited that tonight we're going to hear this reach, man. I love that part because I'm always trying to reach people and lift them up and do whatever I can do, even if you can make somebody smile for 2 minutes. So, hey, you guys have reached and touched me. So let's.
Amen.
I'm excited
amen,
about hearing
amen.
that. But wonderful time.
And
That's what
why?
it is.
Because why? It's
Friday,
Friday,
baby.
baby.
Yeah, it's Friday, baby. I love it.
We want you guys. We will talk to you soon. Don't forget to email us with all your questions, and we could talk about any topics that you would like to hear us review. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Star on the Go, Mr. Know It All. I appreciate you as
Lady
always.
T.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.